There are places in our beautiful world that were never meant to be disturbed. Places where the dead rest in silence, their secrets locked away for centuries or even millennia. But who's gonna stop the curious human mind from doing exactly the opposite? Well, many of the archaeological discoveries have been made at ancient burial grounds, but occasionally the tombs themselves are an interesting mystery, and this video is all about that. So stay tuned and enjoy the show. Mausoleum of Halicarnassus. The word mausoleum exists today because of one man, and this was Mausolus, a Persian satrap who ruled over Caria in the 4th century BCE. When he died in 353 BCE, his grieving sister-wife Artemisia the Tut decided to honor him with something the ancient world had never seen before, a colossal tomb that would outlast dynasties, and she succeeded. Built in Halicarnassus, modern-day Bodrum, this was more than just a burial site. It was a cross-cultural masterpiece, blending Greek, Lycian, and Egyptian design. It earned its place as one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Standing at around 45 meters tall, the mausoleum was constructed atop a stone platform on a hill that overlooked the city. Wide staircases flanked by marble lions led visitors up, while rows of gods, goddesses, and warriors guarded the perimeter. The architects Satros and Pythios designed the core structure, while 4 of the most renowned sculptors of the age, Scopas, Leochares, Timotheus, and Bryaxis, were brought in to craft intricate reliefs and statues on all 4 sides. The tomb itself had a unique and amazing 3-layer design. The bottom third was a solid square base decorated with friezes that included battles between Greeks and Amazons and the Lapiths versus Centaurs. The middle section featured 36 Ionic columns between which statues stood in full glory. Above that, a stepped pyramid rose to the heavens, topped by a colossal sculpture of Mausolus and Artemisia in a 4-horse chariot thundering into eternity. And it wasn't just grand, it was clever. The architects used optical illusions, like subtly tapering columns, to create an illusion of perfect proportion and symmetry. Even today, engineers are stunned by the precision. For over 1,500 years, this monument dominated the cityscape. But time and tectonics had other plans. A series of earthquakes between the 13th and 15th centuries fractured its columns and sent the massive chariot crashing down. Then came the Knights of St. John, who repurposed much of the marble to fortify their nearby castle. Some sculptures were ground into lime, others vanished entirely. What remains, like statues, friezes, and broken wheels, was rediscovered in the 19th century by Charles Thomas Newton and shipped to the British Museum, where they're still on display today, despite Turkey's demand for repatriation. But the story isn't finished. In 2017, Denmark's Halicarnassus project announced plans to revive the mausoleum, and in 2018, Turkey launched a plan to transform the site into an open-air museum. The mausoleum of Halicarnassus wasn't just a grave. It was, and still is, a bold declaration of love, empire, and artistic brilliance carved in stone, set on a hill, and aimed squarely at immortality, and it is a total mystery. Sutton Hoo Burial Ship. In the backdrop of World War II, across the quiet fields owned by Edith Pretty, lay a pair of humble burial mounds. Drawn by folklore and whispers of ancient secrets, Pretty allowed Basil Brown, a local self-taught archaeologist, to begin excavation. What he found in 1938 would astonish the world. Brown's spade first struck the traces of a grand ship. Its wooden frame long vanished, but its ghostly silhouette remained etched in the soil. This wasn't just any vessel, it was a royal tomb stretching nearly 90 feet in length, likely the final resting place of an Anglo-Saxon king. Inside lay treasures so refined and varied, they upended assumptions about the era. A lyre, its fragile form evoking music once echoing through mead halls, a sword and shield, symbols of strength and sovereignty, and a Byzantine silver dish, hinting at far-reaching diplomacy and trade beyond England's shores. Among the relics, the Sutton Hoo purse lid stood apart. In fact, modern historians have hailed it as one of the most extraordinary creations of the early medieval period. And I mean, why not? It's just spectacular. Its intricate gold inlays and exquisite decorative details reflect a culture steeped in craftsmanship and artistic sophistication. This purse lid, alongside the iconic Sutton Hoo helmet, a richly ornamented headpiece believed to have adorned Anglo-Saxon royalty, now resides in the British Museum. The ship's discovery, along with two Anglo-Saxon burial grounds dating to the 6th or 7th century, opened a vivid window into a time long dismissed as the Dark Ages. Scholars now argue that the figure buried within was immensely significant. Redwald, king of the East Angles, remains the strongest candidate, suggesting that Sutton Hoo marked the grave of a powerful and influential ruler. The broader impact of the Sutton Hoo burial ship is profound. It proved a substantial Anglo-Saxon presence in Britain during this era. Basil Brown's find completely transformed how historians perceive early medieval Europe. It was, without a doubt, one of the most amazing creations. Dolmen de Soto. For thousands of years, a mysterious relic slumbered beneath the soil of southern Spain, quiet, buried, and forgotten, holding its secrets close. It wasn't until the 1920s that the Dolmen de Soto, a monumental Neolithic tomb tucked within the hills of Andalusia, dating back over 5,000 years, finally revealed itself to the modern world. In 1922, Armando du Maris, unaware of the ancient legacy hidden beneath his estate, began a routine construction project. What he found was no ordinary rock formation, but a literal portal into a prehistoric age. Just imagine how he felt at that time. Recognizing the significance of the discovery, a German archaeologist named Hugo Obermeier was summoned to investigate this forgotten window into deep antiquity. By 1924, Obermeier had uncovered a haunting scene. He found 8 skeletons, curled into fetal positions, carefully interred alongside relics that whispered stories of ancient people and their sacred rituals. This hauntingly astonishing find triggered a full-scale excavation of the site. From the outside, the Dolmen de Soto appears to be a simple earthen mound, nothing creepy or curious. But its modest exterior masks an internal architectural wonder, a passage stretching over 20 meters leading into a central burial chamber constructed with near-cosmic precision. The builders of this tomb exhibited a profound knowledge of astronomy, aligning the passage so that during the equinox, the first rays of sunlight pierce through the tunnel and light up the chamber, a symbolic rebirth for those entombed within. Deep inside the heart of the dolmen, archaeologists uncovered a collection of treasures. Among them were 64 engraved standing stones supporting the roof of the tunnel, as well as tools, knives, vessels, and fossils that offered rare insights into the everyday lives and spiritual beliefs of the builders of this megalithic site. The engravings on the chamber walls ranged from cool geometric motifs to elaborate depictions of warriors, giving a rare peek into the symbolic world of a society that has long since vanished. Researchers and historians continue to interpret these carvings, aided by spectroscopic analysis, which has revealed traces of ancient pigments. These findings suggest that the dolmen's interior once resembled a vibrant gallery of painted stone art, bursting with color and meaning. Even the materials used to build the dolmen tell a story. The stones came from a wide range of locations, some far from Andalusia, hinting at an extensive trade network and cultural connections stretching beyond the region. After nearly a decade of intensive restoration, the Dolmen de Dudo was declared a Spanish national monument. Today, ongoing archaeological work continues to uncover new layers of history, promising deeper insight into the 8 individuals buried within and the rich, complex, and mysterious civilization to which they once belonged. Mausoleum of the First Qin Emperor. This is the mausoleum of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. A ruler so dominant his final resting place was designed as a hidden city, guarded by a clay army and cloaked in secrets both deadly and divine. His tomb has captivated historians and explorers for centuries, yet beneath its grandeur lies a tale as toxic as it is tantalizing. The Qin dynasty, marking the dawn of imperial China around 220 BCE, reshaped history by unifying a fractured land under one formidable rule. The emperor, regarded as semi-divine, ordered the construction of a mausoleum on a scale never before attempted. It took 38 years to complete. The layout was a replica of the imperial capital, Xianyang, symbolizing Qin Shi Huang's absolute authority, even in death. The result? A sprawling necropolis, home to the awe-inspiring terracotta army, thousands of unique, life-size soldiers standing eternal vigil. But hidden beneath these wonders is a darker narrative filled with poison, traps, and lore, and they are all 100% real. A century later, historian Sima Qian chronicled the tomb's creation. He described rivers and seas made of liquid mercury, designed to represent the vast empire. Ironically, the very substance used to immortalize his domain may have hastened the emperor's death. He allegedly drank mercury-infused wine in pursuit of eternal life. Sima Qian's accounts also hint at ingenious and deadly booby traps. Ancient texts speak of primed crossbows and other concealed mechanisms set to strike intruders, blending documented engineering with mythic scale. The line between fact and legend blurs, but the possibilities continue to intrigue. Yet the tomb remains almost entirely unopened. Modern archaeologists are cautious, not only of potential traps or toxic elements, but also of the irreversible damage full excavation could cause. Current tech simply isn't ready to preserve what lies within. Because of this, the mausoleum has become a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Studied only from the surface, what lies beyond the sealed doors remains untouched, respected, feared, and wholly enigmatic. As we contemplate the sheer effort it took to sculpt an army, fortify a tomb, and mirror a city underground, it's impossible not to wonder what other creepy secrets still sleep beneath the soil. The chambers, unbreached, may still hold the emperor's greatest treasures and his darkest truths. Who knows? The Red Queen. Beneath the verdant canopy of Mexico's Palenque National Park, a centuries-old mystery lay undisturbed, hidden deep within the ruins of the once mighty Maya civilization. In 1994, a barely noticeable fissure in a stone stairway, no wider than a breath, caught the attention of a young archaeologist performing maintenance, Fanny Lopez Jimenez. This narrow slit was more than structural damage, it was a gateway to one of the most astonishing archaeological revelations of the century, the tomb of the Red Queen, a noble woman entombed in an aura of mystery and stunningly coated in scarlet pigment made from the mineral cinnabar. The Maya, celebrated for their astronomical genius, monumental architecture, and complex hierarchical society, also practiced deeply sacred death rituals. In Palenque, once a thriving heart of Maya political and spiritual power, elite burials were marked by ceremonial precision, transforming tombs into cryptic treasure chambers. As Jimenez's flashlight pierced the shadowy depths of the narrow corridor, a palpable sense of ancient secrets thickened the stale air. The crack opened into a maze of stone, ending in 3 distinct chambers. 2 of them stood silent, echoes of rituals long forgotten, but it was the third, sealed and solemn, that held the story's heart. After careful labor to breach the final chamber, Jimenez and her team were greeted by a vision frozen in time, a perfectly preserved tomb untouched by centuries. At its center lay a stone sarcophagus, nearly 2.5 meters long, waiting to be unveiled. The opening of the sarcophagus, a painstaking 14-hour process, revealed the body of a woman of noble stature, adorned in jade and pearl, accompanied by ornate obsidian blades. Her surroundings were drenched in a striking red hue from ground cinnabar. This vivid coloring gave rise to her title, the Red Queen. Nearby, the remains of 2 sacrificed attendants were discovered, a woman in her early 30s and a boy around 11 years old, adding layers of both tragedy and intrigue. The Red Queen, likely in her 60s at death, was clearly a figure of immense status, possibly linked to the ruling class of this ancient Maya city. Yet her identity remains completely mysterious and unresolved. Alexander the Great's tomb. Okay, so this one has been entered and ransacked many times by historical figures like Cleopatra, who used it to fund her war against Augustus, Caligula, who took his breastplate, and Caracalla, who stole his tunic, ring, and belt. But it was nature, not people, that eventually sealed it off, and it hasn't been accessed since antiquity. The 365 BCE tsunami that struck Alexandria is believed to have cut off access to the tomb. In fact, along with much of the ancient city that lies beneath modern Alexandria, it's thought to have sunk below the seabed. Still, several theories persist. It might lie. As Ambrose Shalisi suggested in 1850, beneath Alexandria's Nabi Daniel Mosque, though digging permission has never been granted, it may not be in Alexandria at all. One theory claims a tomb in Vergina, Greece, traditionally identified as Philip II's, actually belongs to Alexander. Another theory places it in Venice, inside the tomb of St. Mark beneath his basilica. Yet another point to the Siwa oasis in western Egypt. Meanwhile, in Alexandria, Greek archaeologist Calliope Limnios Papacosta has been searching for decades, most recently draining water to allow her team to dig. So far, they've uncovered the city's original road system and what they believe to be the ancient royal quarter. According to her 2023 statement, this is where the conqueror is most likely entombed. Cleopatra Sit's tomb. According to archaeologist Kathleen Martinez, who has spent over 3 decades searching for Cleopatra's tomb, Cleopatra outsmarted everyone. She evaded the calculating Roman Emperor Augustus by ending her life, and further defied him by ensuring her body, along with Mark Antony's, vanished to a still unknown location. The most probable site is Taposiris Magna, a temple complex just outside Alexandria, Egypt. Years ago, Martinez and her team uncovered compelling artifacts there, including coins and statues of Isis strongly linked to the Ptolemaic queen. Then, in 2022, the search took a dramatic turn. Her team discovered a spectacular tunnel, buried 13 meters underground, measuring 2 meters in height and stretching 1,305 meters through the sandstone bedrock. Experts have called its construction a geometric marvel, comparable to the Tunnel of Eupalinos on Samos, built in the 6th century BCE. This discovery is promising, but like the earlier labyrinth of tunnels connecting Lake Mariotte to the Mediterranean, much of it now lies submerged, the result of earthquakes that struck the region between 320 and 1303 CE. If found, Cleopatra's tomb would rank as the most significant archaeological discovery of the 21st century, and Martinez already knows what she'll say if she's the one to find it. The world has never forgotten you, my dear Queen Cleopatra. The Costa Tomb. In 2012, archaeologists uncovered a mysterious tomb in northern Greece that dates back to the time of Alexander the Great. The tomb, known as the Casta tomb or the Amphipolis tomb, is richly decorated, featuring a mosaic portraying scenes from Greek mythology, along with pillars carved in the shapes of young women. The structure was built during the turbulent period following Alexander the Great's death and became the final resting place of someone extremely close to him. Theories about the tomb's occupants range from relatives to favored generals, even to Alexander's childhood companion and lover, Hephaestion. Well, 5 individuals were discovered within the tomb, but excavation at the site came to a near standstill due to Greece's financial crisis. So what do you think about these ancient tombs? Did they scare you? Well, let us know in the comment box below, and we hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon in the next one.